Michael had never heard of Ashford Lane. It wasn't on any map, and no one in the city seemed to know it existed. But one night, while walking home from his night shift, he found himself standing at its entrance. The street was narrow, lined with old-fashioned lampposts that flickered weakly. The air was unnaturally cold, and an unsettling silence hung over the place. He hesitated. The city was familiar to him. He had lived here for years, but this street felt wrong. Yet, as he turned to leave, he found the road behind him stretching into an unfamiliar darkness. The way home was gone. The only way forward was Ashford Lane. The buildings along the street looked abandoned, their windows dark and empty. Signs for businesses that shouldn't exist anymore. An old tailor shop, a dusty bookstore, stood untouched, as if frozen in time. A shiver ran down Michael's spine as he took cautious steps forward. The silence pressed in on him, his own footsteps the only sound. Then he heard it, a whisper, soft, just behind him. He spun around. No one was there, but the air felt heavy, charged with something unseen. He quickened his pace, moving deeper into the street, hoping to find an exit. But the further he walked, the longer the street seemed to stretch. Shadows shifted in the corners of his vision. Buildings that should have been still seemed to warp and bend when he wasn't looking directly at them. And the whispers, they were getting louder. "Who's there?" Michael called out, his voice barely above a whisper. He wasn't sure he wanted an answer. Something moved. A shape, tall, thin, stood beneath a flickering street lamp. Its face was shrouded in darkness, its body unnaturally elongated. It didn't move, didn't speak. Just watched. Michael's breath came in short gasps as he backed away. But as he did, the figure took a step forward. Then another. And another. Michael turned and ran. The street twisted and turned in impossible ways. No matter which direction he took, the road seemed endless. The old buildings loomed over him, their windows now filled with shadowed figures, all watching, all waiting. Then he saw it, a doorway. An open door leading into an unlit building. It wasn't an escape, but it was something. Without thinking, he ran inside. The door slammed shut behind him. Darkness swallowed him whole. The air was thick with dust, the scent of something rotting clinging to the walls. He fumbled for his phone, activating the flashlight. The beam barely cut through the blackness, revealing old furniture covered in white sheets, paintings whose eyes seemed to follow him. Then the whisper came again. Closer. Something moved in the darkness beyond his light. A figure, crawling on the ceiling, its limbs bending in unnatural angles. Its mouth was too wide, filled with jagged, broken teeth. It grinned at him. Michael stumbled back, hitting a bookshelf. The books tumbled to the floor, releasing a cloud of dust. He turned to run, but the thing was faster. It dropped from the ceiling, landing inches from him. Its breath was cold against his skin. The door behind him burst open. Michael didn't hesitate. He ran. The street outside was no longer silent. The whispers had turned into wails, echoing through the buildings. The figures that had once only watched now moved, stepping into the street, reaching for him with elongated fingers. The exit. There had to be an exit. And then he saw it. A break in the endless street. A glimpse of the real world, the city he knew. He pushed himself forward, every muscle in his body screaming. The figures were right behind him, their fingers grazing his back. With a final desperate leap, he crossed the threshold. Silence. He was back on a normal city street. Cars passed. People walked by, oblivious. Ashford Lane was gone. Michael gasped for breath, his heart pounding. He turned back, expecting to see the dark entrance where he had emerged. But there was nothing. Just a brick wall. The street had disappeared. But as he stood there, trying to convince himself it had been a nightmare, he heard something behind him. A whisper, calling his name.